Pulp MX Network production.
Welcome to the Troy Lee Designs and Racetech Suspension and Engines Blair Matthes Project.
Yeah, welcome to another edition of the Troy Lee Designs Racetech Blair Matthes Project. International edition, some would say. Thank you for watching and listening. Appreciate it. Happy to squeeze this podcast in before I'm off to Australia for the WSX Open. And my friend Daniel Blair here will be off to Australia next week for the World Supercross. But we were in two different countries this past weekend. So really fun to talk about both races, Vancouver World Supercross round, Paris Supercross as well. So thanks again. Appreciate it. I'm Steve Matthes. That's Daniel Blair. Troy Lee Designs. The teams announced officially, Barcia and Ferrandis for the Troy Lee Designs Ducati team. And, please check out TroyLeeDesigns.com. Great mountain bike gear, moto gear, of course. They've made their name in that. And, if you want a code to save, email us using the contact form on Pulp. We will get you a code to save at TroyLeeDesigns.com. Founded in 1981. They are still, got a legacy rooted in custom paint and innovation. TroyLeeDesigns.com for more information. And our guy checkers at Racetech doing big things. They updated all their gold valve valving for different models. Now Rob doing God's work over there at Racetech.com. Motor work, suspension work. They help a lot of privateer teams out. They do some work for some factory teams that they can't tell you about as far as NDAs on their motor side. But Pulp MX, tell them you listen to this show. Tell them you listen to Pulp MX. Get your suspension done. Get some work done at Racetech.com. Or even just if you want springs, gold valves, parts, that kind of stuff, Racetech.com. Thank you to those guys. We'll tell you more about Zool's Seat Concepts Firepower, Maxxis, Stomp Grip, Decal Works, ASV Levers, and Alpine Stars later on in the show. But for now, regional arena cross champion, world traveler, Daniel Blair. What's up, DB?
And back on the bike, Steve. I'm back officially. I rode 8 laps in Vancouver, and my hip has hurt since. I didn't even fall. And but I'm back. I'm on the bike, and I got tucked into it, dude. I can't believe I did it. My wife was so pissed.
I only watched Vancouver. I was in Paris. I only watched Vancouver on social, so I have a lot of questions to grill you about. You got some questions to me about Paris. But yeah, maybe my number one question, Daniel, by the way, wearing Troy Lee gear, you did some laps on a Supercross track? Like, look, dude, you barely ride. So it's not easy. And what did you jump? Did you jump everything?
Yeah. No, I didn't. Dude, did you watch press day? Like, the track was gnarly on press day. The finish line jump was vert, triple was vert. So I didn't jump the finish line or the triple. But so what happened was Cardo Systems wanted they wanted to do a test, and I don't really know the behind the scenes on how it all happened, other than I was asked to try it out and ride, and then have Fro on the other side. Right. And just do this video for it. And I was like, and I said yes before I thought about it. And then I tried to get out of it.
Did you know this going in, or was this a Friday thing? Okay.
This happened day of, and I tried to get out of it and get out. No, I found out Thursday. And then I tried to get out of it. And I was like, and then the track was kind of gnarly on press day. And the riders were like, dude, this is super gnarly. And I was like, I don't know if I could do it. It's too gnarly.
I heard they had to fix some faces. Too steep, too much booters?
A little. They flattened a couple and took the tops off because on Friday, which was an official practice, it wasn't press. I keep saying press because I'm used to saying that, but it was part of the program. Dude, the track was gnarly. The jumps were big. And so I thought I was out of it. And then I didn't get out of it because I had already agreed and things happened. So next thing you know is there's a brand new Husky 350. There's Troy Lee Designs gear because I gave them my sizes. All the gear showed up.
They didn't get you like a 450?
I wanted a 250, dude, and then they showed up with a 350 because they were like, hey, we figured this would help with more power. And I'm like, this is not the type of power I want. I would rather hit things hard than have to kind of blip through things.
I guess,
anyways, next thing you know, it's just happening. I couldn't stop. My wife was pissed. And we went out and did it. I did like 8 laps on the track. Fro was on the other line. We were talking to each other. It was pretty funny. And then the edit came out, and I made it through. I was okay. I did have a sign off on the editing, though. I told them that nothing could go out unless I said it was okay, because I didn't want to look stupid and like have them like make me look dumb. So I did kind of have like you will not put anything out unless I'm okay with the clip, and then all the clips
like as far as you casing something, you mean, or
just like looking like a goon, like, you know what I mean, dude. I've ridden once in a year and a half, so I don't ride, and I had two goals. One, don't get hurt, and two, don't look stupid. So
did you triple any rhythm sections, or was it a double? Okay,
no,
double thing.
Double, clean, good style in the berms.
And then, dude, obviously, look, the Cardo guys aren't part of this show, but they are on the PulpMX show. You can use the code PulpMX to save at Cardo, by the way. But how awesome are those things, man?
Honestly, man, I went in with a 50-50 kind of like, will this be good? Will this be just like not that great? And I thought the sound would be kind of 50-50, but it wasn't. It was unbelievably clear. Yeah. And I left the experience extremely believing that there's value there for not only for strategy, safety, for all those reasons, but I was kind of on the fence going in and thinking, I don't know if it's that worth it, but it actually was incredible. And I was blown away. It was the sound, you could still hear your bike perfectly, but you could hear the other person on the line clearly, like having a phone conversation. And I did not expect that at all. So was this the special Cardo helmet too, or no? They put it on right in a TLD. Put it in a TLD helmet. And so,
do you want extra money from TLD for wearing TLD gear out there?
Yes, you need to invoice them.
Okay.
So
couple things. So arm pump, yes, no, or were you cruising?
Dude, I wasn't going that fast.
Okay, all right.
I was blipping around. I was good.
Any close calls?
No.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I took no chances, dude. My wife was extremely against it. We actually did a vote in the house, though, and both kids were on my side and said yes. This was in the beginning before I tried to get out of it. But no, my wife was pissed, and she said, like, if you do something stupid, just know, like, there will be consequences when you get home. And so I made it through, and I'm happy. And so thanks to TLD also. I haven't worn TLD since 2012, which is my last year racing Supercross. My last 450 main in Houston, 2012. That was my last Supercross I ever raced, was in TLD, and this is the first time I've worn it since then. So
nice, that's cool. Awesome. I know Feld. They've talked about monkeying around with the Cardo stuff, and that would be a safety thing, like, hey, red flag out, hey, yellow flag out, like that kind of stuff. Not so much strategy. So when they told me about it, I don't know if it'll be like one official with it, and then that's all they can do. They can break into everybody's ears with a safety stuff. I don't think it would be a team manager with the Cardo systems. Now, also, again, I've ridden the Cardo with like 4 other guys. I heard, and Coy Gibbs told me this years ago, so this is better technology, but when you get 20 guys on a track, you can't really hear it. Again, that's just something that I heard, but that I know there's been talk about trying it.
On the safety side, it makes so much sense, and I'm sensitive to this topic. Obviously, it wouldn't have played a role because I wasn't able to catch it in the moment anyway. But my son landed on another rider's bike back when he was 11 years old and broke his femur. That's how he broke it the first time. And there was a bike laying in the middle of the track, and that's just like the idea that you could have been in front of that at all by a second or two and be able to tell the rider, like, look out or what. It's so unbelievably valuable in that way. But that would be the first step. The second step would be from a strategic standpoint. And I mean, if it ever got allowed, it would definitely change the game. But it would also create like a new role for people on the other side, because you would have to have the right person. Like, imagine being a kid and having your dad on the other side screaming at you. It would be terrible. It'd be the worst thing ever. But in professional racing, essentially, you would have like your eye in the sky looking out for you guy. It would create a unique job in the industry for each rider, trying to hire the right person to strategize for them. That might be a little too far. But I actually
let me ask you this. Cool. So if you're Feld and you're like, look, we're going to make Cardos available for safety reasons with an official. Does Feld have to buy 80 Cardos? For, because there's 80 guys that try to, it's capped at 80 guys each class. So now you're asking Feld to buy 160 Cardos. Do the riders have to pay for it? I mean, I almost think like, look, if you're trying to be a professional Supercross racer, signing up $250, $275 to race, you need to have a Cardo, and you pay for it. Maybe that's the way to do it.
Well, again, so we're going from making it possible to actually functional, and like, what does it look like? And who buys it? Who pays for it? Who installs it? Who checks them? How do you check? Yeah. There is complications there, but if safety is the name of the game, and we are looking for ways. I mean, think about this. Hayden Deegan at, what was it, Red Bud, I think it was, maybe 2 years ago, landed on that bike, flipped over the bars. Like, if you lose a guy from that, It's so bad. It would be so detrimental to the sport if that ever happened. And a guy got hurt badly from landing on a down bike.
Happened.
It happens.
Yeah.
So what is the cost for that safety, and how does that all work? I don't know. I don't even know if I could be able to think on the spot of how to handle that part. But from a safety standpoint, the value is there. 1,000%.
Would you do it for safety, or would you make it open to your team manager has this and he can help you with safety reasons, or he can help you with strategy or blocking or anything? What would you do?
Well, that's even the hard part too, because the safety side you would think would come from the race director or somebody on the racing side who is observing that, because the team managers aren't looking for safety. They're looking for lines. So that's where it gets complicated, because on the team manager side, I would want my guy talking to me. I personally, maybe it's because I've done TV and I don't mind the noise in my ear. I would want my guy talking to me a lot and telling me things and keeping me in the loop and strategize. I would want a constant voice, which then takes away the purpose of surprising somebody with, hey, downed rider. You know what I mean? So, and I don't know if the team managers could handle the safety part, because that's not what they would be looking for.
Well,
the race director would.
I don't know. I've heard both sides. I don't know what they're going with. I don't even know if Feld's going to do it, but I have heard there's whispers and talks about it. And look, they've taken away whoops. They've taken away dragon backs, all these things to help safety. This is legitimately like an awesome idea for safety. So if you guys are really worried about safety over at Feld, MX Sports, do this. Make this happen.
You figure it out. I agree with you.
Right.
Figure it out, because it is safer than cutting to 9 whoops and getting rid of Dragon's backs.
Yes,
because again, and just to
100%.
be clear, Dragon's backs, if you take away the landing, there's no danger. Just want to throw that out there for the 100,000th time that I've said it. But no, I'm with you 100%. If we're taking safety serious, this is a absolute net positive like you wouldn't believe. So I agree with you.
All right. Again, thank you to folks at Maxxis Tires for coming on board. Great mountain bike tires. Mitchell Harrison, who I want to talk about because Daniel used to be Mitchell Harrison back in the day. Mitchell Harrison running Maxxis tires on his PRMX cow. He did pretty well with them. And also, again, developed by Jeremy McGrath. So please check out Maxxis tires if you're in the market for a high-end moto tire for the next time, or of course, mountain bike tires, UTV tires, and more. Firepowerparts.com. Batteries, chains, privateer proven. The Club MX guys are using Firepower parts. Loading ramps and stands, we know, are great. Firepowerparts.com for more information on that as well. And thank you to the folks at Alpine Stars. Alpine Stars protects. The MX Tech Air is out now. And we had Brandon from Alpine Stars in the studio a couple weeks ago talking about the pros of it, cons of it. It's a game changer for safety. If you're in the market for the safest chest protector around, look into that MX Tech Air and try it out. Well, hopefully it doesn't try out on you. Hopefully you never need it. But if you do, the thing inflates and could really save some injuries. So please check out Alpine Stars for more information on that. All right, Daniel, you want to start with Paris? You want to start with Vancouver?
Let's start with Paris.
Okay, you fire questions at me. Yep.
First
fire
off,
them at.
I listened to the review show with you and JT, so I have some of the, I guess I would have some of the ideas of how it went. So I don't really need to know that part. What I'd like to know is just your thoughts on a few things, which you guys touched on the fact that it's off season. You don't take everything away from these things, but I do think you could take some things, right? You could definitely read between the lines on where someone is in their life and in their program. And I got mixed reviews on what you're saying about Malcolm, because he's acting like he just started riding. It's been very low key, whatever. But then he rode like the race of his life.
Dude.
So I guess, is he fully still committed all the way in pursuing his second victory? Because mostly, Steve, when a guy wins their first race late in their career, it's like, did he get the one because he needed to check the box? Or is there more there? And the results would say there's more there, but then he kind of acted like he really didn't prep for it. So was this just talent? Like, your thoughts overall on Malcolm and 26, I guess I would say.
It's JT and I disagreed, of course. Shocking. He said this was his best ride, Malcolm's best ride he's ever seen, JT's ever seen. I'll go with Tampa because that's more of a legit race, and that was pretty amazing coming from the back and all of that. So I'll go with Tampa. But either way, incredible. Yes, he injured himself at Charlotte. He should not have raced St. Louis SMX. He tried, hurt himself more, 6 times on the bike, and rode phenomenal, man. Like, look, he got a lot of help from the Lawrences having issues, but on the third main, well, first of all, the first 2 mains on Sunday, Jet won, but Malcolm was right there, behind him. Did not pull away. And then, of course, Malcolm pulled away in the third main to win that on Jet. So very impressive. And I think my point in that review pod, which maybe I didn't do a good job of getting it out, is a long ass weekend, jet lag, all of that. My point is, if you're Jet Lawrence and you have a stock motor and you don't do that well, you forget about Paris and you move on, and it doesn't matter. But if you're Malcolm and you win 4 out of the 6 mains, 4 out of the 6 mains, and you win the overall, you can take Paris and roll with it, and it helps.
Okay.
Because riders can tell themselves whatever they want. But I think Malcolm really can. The whoops were big, Daniel. So he had those dialed. He had those dialed as good as Jet, not better, as good as Jet. And then he started quadding behind Jet. That was a huge advantage. And then he figured out this rhythm where he stayed tight in through the sand going in, went 2, 3, 4, 1, stayed tight again on the left, and it was a game changer. So when you add up those 3 things, Malcolm had some smart lines, some real speed, and I do think he can take this going forward. But yeah, he way undersold me. You still count as a rider, Daniel. So I'm going to just say this: you riders suck.
I
He
was always
undersold
honest.
himself.
He definitely did. But that's my question: was he telling the truth? And he's just really talented, and it's hard pack, and the crowd loves him there. Like, did the moment just grab hold of him? Because
he told me once he saw the whoops and he crushed him, he started feeling good. You know, like, hey, like this is awesome.
A guy with excess talent could pull that off with little bit of prep. So I think I'm gonna side with you on the idea that if it's bad, then you just wipe it out as bad. But if it's good, you use that as at least like a bump into the off season, right? Because now he's probably going to lock in for boot camp. He's got that chapter coming, so it gives you a confidence as you go in. He's not coming off of an injury from Charlotte and St. Louis, and he's got to start boot camp with nothing. He actually gets to start with some momentum. So I think I'm with you. These races, if they go your way, you use that as a burst of fuel into the season. And if they don't, you write it off as, well, this and this and this were true factors, which the Lawrences obviously were dealing with. My question to you, again, back to Paris, why were they on stock bikes? Like, what was the method of the strategy on them riding stock bikes and not having something?
Saving on cost, right? It's $20K to ship bikes. So it's, I don't know how much to ship parts, but they brought swing arms, clamps, suspension, bars, all the smaller stuff that you can bolt on. And, then you just get a stock Honda, leave the motor in it, change your tires, and it just costs. It just cost Honda or Lawrence's. I don't know who bears the brunt of the shipping. Like in Star's case, Star makes the riders pay, right? Like, this through Max Anstey right now doing Worlds.
Yeah.
That team is paying for that bike there. But in this case, it's saving someone money, Daniel. The Lawrences or Honda.
Well, but the Lawrences, aren't they making a bunch? Didn't they have?
Yeah,
I would imagine they're making a bunch. But and here's the thing: I completely understand the idea of you don't need the every bell and whistle factory bike, especially on a race like that. But that engine affects the chassis and the whoops, like for sure. Like a less powerful engine. And I didn't see Hunter's crash. I know he had a big crash.
Oh, it was ugly.
I heard. And then as far as Jet goes, you can't blame the engine for the washout. I know you guys are talking about the forks and suspension and the front tire being kind of partially to blame for that. But I would think that in the whoops, the engine would have played a massive role in how the bike handles. So I was just curious when I heard that they were on stock bikes or stock engines, why that would have been. But it makes sense cost-wise, but I don't know. Maybe in hindsight, you go all in because, I don't know what was Malcolm on. What did he have?
Great question. I don't know. I don't know what that was. If it was a full factory bike. I mean, he's just doing Paris, so I don't think it would be a factory bike. I don't know. But then again, last year the Lawrences had full bikes, full factory last year.
KTM is based out of Europe, so they have an advantage there where maybe they have access to things that are there. I don't know. And then what was Webb on? Did Webb have a full
Webb had
shebang?
full bike. Full bike. Yep.
And that's probably the same bike that's traveling the world because he's about to hit the tour too, right?
It was on its way to Australia. Yeah.
And then staying there for 2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Interesting. Great point about the whoops because, more than anything, Daniel, it affected their starts. They got good starts. They didn't get great starts. The Lawrences are known for great starts, as you know.
Yeah.
And I did some whole shots on that bike. Didn't get it past 78, but percent throttle opening. But yeah, they got good starts, not great starts. They certainly didn't always nail it. So that was probably to me a big factor of not having the factory bike there. Obviously, they're mapping, and they're trying their best. Hutch was there, Grant Hutchison, their crew chief guy. He was there mapping and trying to get the best they can with fuel and everything else. But yeah, I mean, even Jet told me on Friday. I said, "Hey, what about that quad there?" He's like, "Nah, man, stock motor. She doesn't have enough ponies." He did it anyways. And then Malcolm told me, "Listen,
broke the pact, right?
Broke the pact. He broke the pact." They all said no one's quadding out here, and then Jet started it, then Mookie was behind him and started it, and Coop's like, nope, it's November. I'm not doing that.
Well, and I know we'll get to Vancouver, but Max Anstie and Eli Tomac win, and it was because of their starts and their ability in the whoops. So it's crazy that here we are talking about the worth of the engine, and if the starts were off, and then it affects the chassis and the whoops, where Jet is usually pretty ridiculous too. I don't know what he looked like in them, but it just those are two of the areas where it would matter the most, and maybe those areas were affected, especially on starts with the Lawrences.
Jet and Malcolm were clearly the best two in the whoops. The whoops were big too, Daniel. They were legit. Like, go ask anybody. Usually these things start big on Friday, but they get soft and they break down, and then of course they got the steamroller, and they end up getting packed. Well, these were hard dirt brought in, and they never broke down like other Paris whoops.
It looked
so they
dry.
Stayed good.
It looked dry. The track looked slick, and it's always kind of slick there. But I always feel like there's some grip because they're pretty aggressive. But the clips I saw looked really hard packed.
No, you're right. So. That usually is. So, the Lawrences, once again, like last year, same thing. They were great, but they each had a poor main event that stopped them from winning, and Cooper Webb won the overall. And this year, it's the same thing. I don't think we see them back at Paris. Talking to Darren Lawrence, I did a post-race interview with him. It seems like I said, how do you balance making a bunch of money? And look, they're probably going to make, between them both, $400K or more for 2 weekends. Probably more, but I would say at least $400K between the brothers for 2 weeks. That's a lot of money. So how do you balance that? I asked Darren Lawrence on making money, being there for Australian fans, right? But then also training, boot camp, testing, all of that. And his answer was really interesting, but his answer did seem to me that this is it. They're doing that last year, this year, and then they're going to take a break. So,
well, I mean, they're if you add in Motocross of Nations too, they're really not getting a breather, and these are all extra. Of course, that one's not a moneymaker. That one's just purely, for pride and for the flag and for the country. But if you look at the schedule, doing all 31, which they haven't done yet, neither of them have done all 31, which is actually
Hunter didn't do 31 in 24. No,
I don't think so, and I know Jed hasn't.
Yeah.
So they haven't done that all, and if they were to do it, and then do Motocross of Nations, and then do that, and now you're looking at a really, really, really tough schedule on those boys. So we'll have to wait and see on all those races, but I have to imagine they're a pretty good draw there. But from what I understand, just from you guys saying it, and people that I also talked to, Jeff Beaver at Whiskey Throttle, they love Malcolm there. Like, I know Malcolm is like.
No,
do you think that's just because of Malcolm individually, because he has created his own path? He is his own guy now, but there is he's James's brother still, and James went there a bunch too. Do you think it's just they recognize him, or is he clearly alone now as his own man? You think
it's both. Fans? It's both, and I'll give you a great example. That's a good question. It's both. So first of all, he's a great dude. He's always been funny, good interview, right? Yep. You know all this. He's a great dude. He's super talented. I think he's got the hair coming out the back of the helmet. He's stylish. He looks cool all the time. So there's that. And they love him. But also, like, for an example, I was listening to another media guy from another country do an interview with Malcolm, and he was just asking him questions about James. Not all of it, but he asked 2 or 3 questions about James, and Malcolm gave the canned stuff, like whatever.
Yep.
But I think that's an example of, like, they're still fascinated by James Booba Stewart over there. So I think the answer is both.
A little bit of crossover from the past, but also he has definitely created an individual out of himself over the last however many years. He's Malcolm to me. But James was just so impactful so long ago, and that race being a tradition race, you have to imagine a lot of those fans were there back then too. So
for sure.
Just curious of if there was some of the hang there. How about Webb? Last question I have for you on Paris. Last year, what I noticed was that Cooper Webb went on the I'm going to follow Jet around tour. And you could tell that he was really like trying to latch on to Jet's speed because he's Cooper's not dumb. Cooper's the smartest dude in the sport, by the way, as a racer. And he attached himself onto Jet and went and followed him around and had a great offseason, which led him to a championship with all the variables that existed, of course. But Cooper was at maybe his best or tied for the best he's ever been last year. Do you get the same vibes that it's the same Cooper as last year doing the same thing, or is this the cash-in year off the number one plate? Is he chasing the Bucks, or is he chasing his fourth title by running around and doing these races where he's going to get Jet, and then he's going to get Eli and Kenny? Like, what's he doing it for?
I think the answer is both. Again, DB. I think I think you see him in WSX next year. I think he's all about making money. I think with Coop, a lot of things you talk to him at this point in his career, legacy secured, knows he's on the back end. He's cashing in. He's made mentions to me privately, personally, publicly about making money.
Bought you a burger.
Bought me a burger. Yeah, bought me a burger. It's awesome. Yep. It really saved me more than anything. I didn't mind the money for sure, but he really saved me time, by the way, because the burger line was super long. So shout out to Cooper Webb. But I think it's both. And I think but I said to him in my post-race interview, Daniel, that in my opinion, this weekend was good for him, not great. And last year was great. He won. Like, even if Jet doesn't crash back in that one main last year, Coop still put pressure on him, still led a lot of laps. Mm-hmm. This year, he only led laps in one main. He was one or maybe he led another main by 1 lap or 2 laps. And then he only finished out of the top 3 once out of 6 times. But he just wasn't as close, right? He got dropped by Malcolm and all of that. Yeah. So I said, hey, good weekend, not great. And he totally agreed with me. So there's that. So I think there's a little bit of both. Like, he was better last year in Paris than he was this year, but he was still good this weekend and made the podium a whole bunch and bought me a burger.
So smart, crafty, led some, but not as like, because usually he's a late off-season guy. Usually he turns it up after Thanksgiving, and he admitted to me he needs to drop. He admitted to me in the interview he needs to drop some LBs again because that's what Webb does. Yeah. And I would agree with that. He's got his off-season, non-season body for sure, and that's why I'm curious if he was the same guy as last year. Because last year I felt like he was on a mission. There was a specific goal in mind, which was to latch onto Jet and learn some new speed, which I thought he had last year. He was faster this year, 2025 Supercross, than I think he's ever been. I mean, he squared up with Chase straight up and was able to, outcraft him for sure. But the speed had to be close enough to pull it off. And I think a lot of that came from the offseason. What he was chasing new speed. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. A couple of things before we start about Vancouver. I tweeted this and I just wanted to talk to you about this a little bit. And look, Mitchell Harrison is not on the same level as Chase Sexton and Jet Lawrence and all of that. But he's a great rider. He'd have a career that 97% of racers would probably take. And when we hear Chase, Jet, whoever talk about bike setup in March, Daniel, and they're still not there with bike setup in March. Okay, they started riding in November, and in March they're still hearing it. I just want them to remember Mitchell Harrison. He rode a Cowie all year, then gets a ride with Craig Dack's team, Yamaha, for Australian Supercross, goes down there, tests a little bit, does 2 rounds on there. He's Phil's teammate. Sorry about that, Mitchell. Then he flies to Germany on a File Kawasaki, their bikes, their motor, their suspension, races that all weekend, flies to Paris, gets on a Bud Kawasaki, their suspension, their motors. First time he's on the bike is Friday. First time he's on the bike in Germany was for practice. And again, not on the same level as the riders I'm talking about, but there's a dude just grinding it out, making some money, doesn't care what he's got, gets used to it, and does the best he can. I just shout out to Mitchell Harrison. I think that's cool. I think some privateer guys are complaining a lot about money, complaining about not getting support, and Mitchell Harrison's out there grinding away, and then other riders are complaining about setup 4 months into the deal, complaining about bike stuff 5 months into the deal, and there's Mitchell Harrison racing whatever, wherever. So shout out Mitchell Harrison, Daniel. Yeah. 2 things on that. Number one, Paris,
you went
World
2.
Supercross.
You said 2 things and then you went.
Well, number one of the two.
Okay.
My bad. Mitchell Harrison, Marshall Welton, Devin Simonson, Henry Miller in World Supercross. I think it gets overlooked how cool this time of year is for guys like that because, look, Jet's making the bucks, Cooper's making bucks, Eli's making – they're all making the big money. But these races are making a living for guys like that. And I think that gets overlooked and under talked about how important these things are because the American Supercross, Motocross Championship, that long grind, it's tough. They cash in, though, in the fall. And even for me, my off-season races that I would always put in there, those were like the payoffs for being good during the American season. Then I'd get to go and cash in on those. And I think that we don't pay enough attention to that and commend the different series, which we'll get to World Supercross, for creating job opportunities for guys that don't make a lot and they actually get to make somewhat of a living. So forget about the big money guys. That they're the draw. You pay them to fill the stands. But the guys that benefit from that are Harrison, Welton, Simonson, Miller. Those are the guys that actually benefit from all this, I think, the most. So I'm glad you brought up Mitchell because look, he's on tour, dude. The guy is literally on a world tour right now, cashing in because he was good this year.
Now he's back to Australia this weekend on a Yamaha.
That and this is cashing in on a great hard season. And when it's all said and done, forget the word 31. Let's talk 41 because that's what Mitchell Harrison will be, and he ain't complaining because this is where he gets to make his money. So that's the first point. The second point on the suspension thing. We all know that the top guys are constantly dealing with their motorcycle all the time. What these guys, one of them will be smart and do it, is say, after a bad race, the bike was a little off. What we did was we tried to put a little bit more pressure on the fork by doing this, and we went the wrong way, but we learned for next week, we're going to do this. We're going to take a little rebound. One guy, if he wants to complain about his bike, but give some context and actually give a little meat for us to chew on, we won't be rolling our eyes like, oh my God, here they are again, because we know they're all changing their bike every single week. Give a little bit to chew on, and I think the fans will go, oh, I don't mind if he says it every single week if he's going to be transparent. And guess what? What he is doing on his bike will not have any effect on the competitor's bike because none of their bikes are the same. Even the guys on the same team aren't the same. So one of you riders out there, the next time you're having a bike issue, tell us what it is and tell us what you're going to do to fix it and what you tried and what you didn't try. And if you do that, we will not look at you the same. We will not think you're complaining. We'll think you're just actually being open and honest with a real thing that is a problem for every guy every week. We know that. So
yeah, but again, unlike F1 or MotoGP or NASCAR or whatever, racers can overcome these motorcycles all the time, and they've got to stop using motorcycles as a reason why they didn't fulfill their expectations of results, in my opinion. We got way too much of it these days. Way too much of it.
We had Osborne. We had Osborne on your show. I was in studio. He said, get the bike to 90%. The other 10 is on me. I'll figure it out. And that's a multi-time indoor and outdoor champion. And to me, I've always respected Zach for that and all the riders that take that approach. And the ones that have to have it 99.9, it's very difficult to hear that because you're the most talented people on the planet on a motorcycle, and you can't let 0.1% be the reason why you lost. It just, you can't. So,
Stomp Grip, by the way, PulpMX 25 for 10% off, stompgrip.com. Whether you're racing Supercross, hammering motos, ripping laps, the local track, Stomp Grip's dirt bike 3D grip tape and frame grips give you the control you need to stay locked in. They're engineered for the high friction zones out there. Stomp Grip's 3D grip tape helps reduce arm pump, improve body positioning, protect your plastics and frame from wear and tear. The code PulpMX25 saves with you. They've got custom fit per model Stomp Grips, but they also have universal ones that you can create and cut your own Stomp Grip. So PulpMX25 to save with those guys. Troy Lee Designs, send us an email using the contact form on Pulp. We'll send you a code to save. Mountain bike helmets and gear and all of that. Daniel, they're custom painting me a fly helmet for me. I can't wait. I saw the rendering already from Troy Lee himself. So I'll be showing that on this show when I get it. Racetech as well, racetech.com for more information. Tell me, listen to this show or Pulp to save with Racetech. All right, World Supercross time, Daniel. The debut of Eli Tomac was really like the oxygen sucker up in the room. Everybody wanted to see it. He looked great. He took the win. He lost to Kenny in one of the sprint races. And again, I didn't watch this. All I saw was highlights. Did Kenny straight up beat him? Eli got a bad start. Talk about the one he lost.
Okay. So they were very even very, very, very even once the gate dropped. And Eli whole shot and got in the lead on the first one, past Anderson, got in the lead. Kenny came from way back in that. Kenny's starts were bad in race 1 and 3, and he blitzed through like a madman. He was amazing. But in the second one, Kenny got up to the front before Eli and then just had him because they were truly 51-49 moto by moto. I mean, they were so dang close, dude, and they both were ripping. Justin Cooper was fastest in the Super Pole by 7 tenths. I mean, he actually kind of whooped him.
7 tenths?
7 tenths. But then when the gate dropped, it is crazy because you would think that both Kenny and Eli on a track that was pretty tough would have been somewhat reserved, dude. I've never seen those two ride so hard. They were hitting tough blocks, revved out. I mean, they were both so aggressive and left everybody. I mean, they put on an absolute clinic. And we did a good job on the broadcast. We really zeroed in on it going into the weekend. Like we have to hype this thing up because these are two legends. They battled all last year. Kenny swept the first round, but Eli's making his debut. And so we really pinned the two like a title card against each other. Then they absolutely delivered for us because they together were the story. And Kenny did beat him straight up in that one. But I will say Eli did suck up a lot of the oxygen for good reason, though. Like, dude, we didn't think Eli was going to be racing this long. We thought he was going to retire 2 years ago, and he's still out there. Now he shows up with a Red Bull KTM team, and it was funny because we talked to Ian and Carlos, and they're like, dude, we've been competing against this guy forever. Kenny on 250s, Marvin on 250s, Dunge, Cooper Webb. It's always been Eli on the other side, and then Eli's like, he even brought up to me as a joke, like, he's like, dude, I was so mad at them over the Marvin stuff that year in New Jersey. Like, the whole, he's like, I was bunching because I was screaming at them over that. And now we're like, hey, what up? So it's pretty cool that this sport has the ability to have this story that he's still racing and he's teamed up with this legendary team. And both are looking for a bump from last year. So there was a lot of storylines going in with Eli, and he delivered, man. He looks good, dude. He really, really looks good. He whole shot the third one by like a bike length. And I know it's just the off season, and it's like you can't carry any of this over, right? You can carry over the fact that there's a good pairing there, and this is going to work. Like, it was clearly evident on screen. This relationship will work, at least to start. They always do. And the mystery on will Eli ride a KTM good, the mystery's out. He was phenomenal. So there's my overall on those two. So
you mentioned Jay Coop. I have him down here to talk to you about him. I didn't realize he was that much quicker than those guys in Super Pole. But was he a factor in the three mains? Like, I know he crashed late in one, but was he in the mix, or was this?
He whole shot the second one.
Okay.
And then Kenny and Eli got him, and I believe he got third in that one. But Jason was overall a little bit better in the racing. But Jay Coop is good.
Surprised at that? Are you surprised at that?
No, he's getting better every week. He's by the end of this thing, he's going to be really, really comfortable. He's learning the bike, and I'll tell you what, Jason's in a good spot too. He thanked the Pipes family like 3 times in one interview. I think there's a really good pairing there. If you look at personalities, like the Pipes family, that's a family team. And Jason, I think, is probably about had it with the corporate environment. I think he's done with corporate, right? So he's landing in the perfect place for him, and he seemed to be very grateful. I mean, publicly, he couldn't stop saying it. So Jason
I saw a video of another creative line that he took over a berm in a start off the start.
Yeah, I mean, of course, right? He's the guy that would just hop the back of a berm into the first corner. But Steve, I got to tell you what I did, dude. I'm so proud of this. But I really did Eli a little dirty. I didn't mean to, but so I knew coming in that Eli and a KTM was a big deal, right? And so during the first practice, I decided I'm going to videotape him on my phone from the stands and just put that sucker right up on Instagram, just break the algorithm, right? Just be the first one to post. And so his second lap, this was his second lap period. He does a sick turn down on the triple. He looked a little off in a couple areas because it was lap 2 of the whole trip.
Yes.
And I put that sucker up there. And, dude, there's been heavy debate online. Like, he looks terrible. His bike looks bad. This doesn't look good at all. And it's because it was his second lap. But, dude, I got like 450,000 views on that video, 25,000 likes on Instagram. I knew it was going to happen. So I kind of dirtied Eli up a little bit because it wasn't a fair look at what he actually looks like. But now that y'all know, it was his second lap, period. in Vancouver, and maybe that'll bring some context to why he was a little off. But dude, I had to break the algorithm, and it worked.
I watched it; it looked fine. Anybody who makes any judgment from anyone's Instagram banger needs to get a life, because we just stop it. Everybody,
there was debate. There was heavy debate over the way he looked in that video, and I didn't put his best lap up. It was his second lap total on the weekend. So, anyways,
honestly, I mean, I think Eli will be good. I think he'll win races. I think we'll look much the same. I think Chase Sexton will look much the same on their new bikes, but it's still cool to see. Jade Dungy gets to work with him too, which is a little crazy switch for him. Yeah. Jade gets battled Eli, like you mentioned so many times. And then, so Jay Coop a little off from Anderson even.
Yep.
Kenny, clearly second best guy.
Oh yeah.
Kenny's doing one more WSX. I saw Lewis talk to Tom, the CEO, and he said he doesn't discuss the contracts. Kenny said that they pulled some offers from him or whatever. So that's interesting.
I don't know. I don't know the details on all the way that looks, because his deal is so unique. But I will bring some clarification, because I know there's a little bit of this debate out there that's misunderstood. So he's not a wild card, because if you're a wild card, you don't ride for a team. You're essentially like a promoter's choice.
Yeah.
He rides for Pipes' team. He's on a roster spot, and each team, there's 7 teams, they all have to fulfill 2 450, 2 250s. So he's on the team. So right now he is grabbing points like he's there. If he decides to do the last 2 rounds, he is in the points. The other guys are not in at all because they don't ride for a team.
But
so
now if Colt Nichols drops in, Colt Nichols is going to drop in for Kenny.
Yes.
He doesn't get Kenny's points.
No, but Pipes gets the points because there's a team championship too. And like, for instance, Quad Lock Honda had Bourdon at the first one in Argentina, and then they had Wilson Todd at the second one because Bourdon went to Paris. So they got those points for their team because there's a team championship too. Yeah. So Kenny and Colt would share those. But no, Kenny's not a wild card. As it sits right now, he is the red plate points leader. And if he all of a sudden things change and he's in Sweden or South Africa, he is eligible, where Hayden Deegan, Cooper Webb, Eli Tomac, and Justin Cooper are true wild cards. They don't ride for any team. They're like a promoter's choice. Yep. So there's the clarification on all that. For sure. Give me a 450 guy that surprised you a little bit. Craig, again, 2 weeks in a row. That last week, He looks good on a Honda, man. He just, honestly, he looks good on anything because he's Christian. But there's something about him on a Honda that just looks more comfortable, I guess. And he hasn't had a fair shake on a 450. He's had injuries, and the start thing was weird. But he was really close to Jason, I think, in the last one. And I think he's going to get better, too. And I like Christian. So to me, it's like, it's good to see him getting to go. Well, I do. And I feel like he got a bad end. The story was so sour ending for him. Like, wins the title, gets hurt on the 450 with Husqvarna, never gets going, then goes for Star, weirdly isn't racing for whatever reason, which he's been pretty open about his frustrations there. Like, well, remember, first he was training Hayden. That was his first thing. Like, you're going to race and train Hayden. That lasted literally until Hayden's first race didn't go the way they wanted to. And everything changed. And it all changed. And I think it pushed him out from that moment. The end was coming for him once he couldn't do the Deegan thing. I agree, and the timing is exact. And then he didn't get to race outdoor. I just think that if that was the end of Christian Craig and he was done, that's just a sad ending. That's not very fair. You know what I mean? And so I like that he's getting a chance to kind of go out on his own terms. And how long he goes, I don't know. He's still dang good, dude. The talent's still there, and he seems healthy and happy. So maybe we get another couple years. Maybe he goes on the Brayton Tour and just starts racing year round and keeps this thing going. But I would say that's a terrible look if he looks bad, but it's a good look because he looks good. So to me, his career has been a little reset and revitalized. So he looks good. What the hell is going on with Justin Hill? He has not been good. Do we know? No answer. Okay. All right. I wouldn't even be able to give you an opinion. I don't want this to sound terrible, but I forgot he was there, dude. I didn't even know he was there, dude. He has been a non-factor, and he was pretty good last year in Supercross. So I don't know what's going on. Okay, because no clue, dude. I mean, I haven't watched Vancouver, but I looked. Yeah, man. I mean, he's cashing checks. It's definitely not going well. But if you're a Justin Hill fan, this just comes with the territory. Like, I don't know who's going to show up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't even be.
Is this your I don't know,
good.
man?
And I'm good with opinions. I have them. I can fire them off usually just out of nowhere. I have nothing for you, dude.
Okay.
Nothing.
Max Anstey, class of his own. Shane was a little better, but maybe not.
Not Shane. Cody. Shane had a terrible weekend. Shane.
I thought Shane did really well in one of them. He didn't?
No,
Oh,
bad
okay.
weekend.
My
He
bad.
had a bike issue, and then he had to ride the backup bike, which I think maybe was stock. And
okay.
And then he had to go back to his other bike. He had a disastrous.
Right.
It was shock. Cody shock.
Yeah.
Every moto got closer. By the third one, he actually caught him and was all over him for about 4 or 5 laps. So no, Cody's a clear second right now and getting closer to Max. But Max hasn't been challenged all the way yet because he's been in the lead the whole time. He hasn't really had to pass anyway. He had to pass Noah Viney in the first race of the whole season on the third corner.
And, he got all 3 holies this weekend, all 3 hole shots?
All of them.
Yeah.
And Shock again has had to fight his way to second. And then the last one actually got in there and was like right there with him. But and then Lopes is a clear third. And then there was Cole Thompson, Colin Park. Drama, dude.
I saw some of that. Yeah, did you see what happened? And look, I'm not a fan of Thompson. He's gotten himself involved in so many incidents with riders, and he's always getting himself. It's him and everybody else. So he's greasy. I've said this over and over. He's been greasy in Canada. He's greasy in America. So I'm not a fan, and I'm team Colin on this. Although I didn't see what happened, but I'm guessing Thompson is the guilty guy.
I think what happened, this is a guess, but I believe that they were battling, and I don't think Colin Park was a big fan of the way Cole was riding in front of him.
Oh,
so
there we go.
Do your math there. So maybe borderline moving over, crossing. I don't know. I didn't see it. But Colin was pissed.
I would take Colin's side based on Cole Thompson's history over and over and over.
But then they had post-race beef on screen, which was great. Like they were in each other's business. And then on the sight lap of the second one, I believe they both roosted each other at some point in the sight lap, like down the face of a jump, like just. I think they both peppered each other. And then, of course, the next moto, they were into it again, and we just kept the camera on him. And it was just like we were waiting. Then Colin got him, then lost it. And then it was kind of over. And then I saw a post-race, or Kristen Beat interviewed Cole Thompson, and he goes, we were just talking about where we're going to go to eat or something. We were just, we're all buddies. And then I heard an interview with Colin where he said that Cole said he was going to kill him or something. So I don't really know. This is one of those ones where I'm not exactly sure what happened, but a lot happened.
Yeah, Thompson's greasy.
It was exciting though.
Hey, the Stark guys were better. The Stark guys looked better.
Kind of. I don't know. Okay. Kind of. I mean, Vince was second on one and went back to 10th. That Jorge Zaragoza guy, he's actually pretty good. That guy is pretty talented. Not really. Kobush, I didn't see much. And then Michael Hicks is pretty sick, man. He's just kind of he's in the back of that pack. Like Peters is in there. Colin Park, Thompson. Like there's just this pack of guys, and he's kind of just at the back of that. So a quiet, which is probably better for them, a quiet round 2 with not a lot of bad and then just a little bit of mediocre in there. So kind of a medium weekend for them.
250 rider that gave you surprise, good or bad?
I would say overall Colin is pretty good. Like he has not had the results that are matching as good as he is riding. I think that's the fairest way to put it. Like if you looked at the results sheet, like he hasn't done anything really to pop off of it, but inside of that, every single moto, he's done things that are really good. So I feel like he's very close to showing something really, really special. And then as Max has been phenomenal, and then Cody solidified himself as like the number 2 guy. I mean, he was clearly number 2 all weekend. So that one, the hierarchy has actually worked itself out kind of clean. Like it's 1 through 5 has gotten pretty predictable. So
right. Yeah, it looks like, and Max is doing the whole thing, right? He's doing the whole series.
Oh yeah, he wants his title back. Because he's won this thing before, and he's said it multiple times. He wants his plate back. So he's all.
I heard in Paris through the grapevine a little bit that Star, and this is why Max didn't ride MXDN. Star is charging $25,000 to use a bike for anybody who wants to outside of America, anybody who's on the team. But Coop had done his deal and gotten Star to agree to it before they sort of implemented this. So in the future, after Coop is done, and of course Max, as we mentioned, his team is paying this, And I think this might be a business model going forward. We might see the American teams be like, hey, man, these things are expensive. It's time. It's everything else. It's a lot of parts, you know?
It totally, I mean, Club MX, it's a business model. So Rick Ware Racing is one of the official teams, and we worked a deal with them, and they are leasing our entire race program pretty much. I mean, we sent 6 bikes in crates, all of our full race bikes, put them in the crates, sent them off, spare engine, spare everything. So essentially, if you're Rick Ware Racing, you have to produce your own race team. Or you can go to a team that exists and go, hey, you're a perfect candidate for us because they're in Charlotte area. We're right here. And Cody Schock rides for their team. And so does Devin Simonson. And Lopes used to ride it. There's so many reasons why it worked. So these are all club bikes that are on the tour. And it was a business deal that we put together with Rick Ware Racing and looking to extend that into the future because the series is growing. There's going to be more rounds. And it's done a really good job these first 2 rounds. Like it's definitely solidified itself as a pretty nice standard moving forward. So we're going to do a longer term deal with Rick Ware as a business plan for club and our riders. So
listen, you're on the payroll. I get it. You're making money you're doing a great job as you normally do. But dude, the math doesn't math on this series. I know they cut back on team payments and purse money this year. I know there was a good crowd in Vancouver, not great, good crowd. And I know they're getting subsidies from these governments to go racing, but it doesn't make sense. So I wish these guys nothing but the best, and it's awesome that teams and riders are getting money, but dude, they don't have any sponsors. So until you get Rockstar, Monster, Red Bull, Caterpillar, ASV levers, someone to title this thing and go global with it, it doesn't make sense to me. Now, I don't have access to the books. I don't know exactly going on, but I wish them nothing but the best, but it doesn't make sense to me right now.
Well, I don't have access to the books either, but I do have access to the CEO, and we've had multiple conversations with him, and what I can share is that they are investing in over a time period with the idea of bringing in all that stuff. So this isn't a series that's like trying to be in the black in year 1 in profit. It by design, they are investing in with a longer
this would be year
runway.
2. This is year 2 of new owners, right?
Yeah. Well, year 1 was like the takeover of the last. This is their first implementation of them. This is them actually producing their own product from top to bottom, from the racing side, the TV side. There's a new production company doing TV. So this is really year 1 because the last year was like grabbing from the past. It was like a baton. But no, there's a plan in place, multi-year plan, to invest into this series and get it to where they are bringing in a title sponsor, and it is growing and the seats grow. I mean, the ambition is to be Tom said it, a 25,000 per market viewership live and bring in sponsorship. So instead of coming in with a bunch of high expectations and a bunch of hype, they've kind of done it the other way, where they've actually gone to the bottom and they're just building up from the bottom. But where they are still spending their money is bringing in some marquee names to produce a good product. I mean, ultimately, that's what you have to do. And so I would say, because I have seen the criticism on there, and again, I work for the series, but I'm also, I keep it real. I mean, I'm a fan of the sport first, always. There is little things every week that everyone can nitpick and see that needs to be improved. But this group is honestly taking that information back and trying to fix it immediately with the intent of giving a good product. And ultimately, they've told me from the beginning, this is why I jumped back on board getting involved in TV and doing this. They care about the fans and they care about the riders. And if that's the 2 priorities at the very top, then I'm going to stay believing in them. And that's all I've seen so far is, what do the riders think? What can we do to improve? What do the fans think? What can we do to improve? And if they follow that and consistently stay with that, this thing will become a profitable enterprise. I do think it will, because there's a plan in place to do it. So that's true.
I think you're wrong, Daniel. Great that the fans and riders are the concern, but the math doesn't math for what they pay. So they need sponsors. But yeah, hopefully that happens. Hopefully that's the game plan. Look, I firmly believe Tom and the owners when they say, look, Supercross is awesome, and there's all these other people in every other country that never gets to see these guys and see this great sport. And they're absolutely right. And I've seen the fans in Argentina, and I went to Cardiff year 1 with different owners, and I went to Vancouver, and they are right. There's a market there. Fans want to see these dudes. They want to see Tomacs and Roxons and Ansties and everything else. So the business plan is right in the sense of taking it to other places in the world. But again, The math needs to math. No one wants to lose money year after year, whether it's PulpMX, whether it's the World Supercross, right? So
sure.
It's got to make sense.
And part of that plan is producing a good enough product to where the investment pays for itself, and then the goal would be to eventually break even, then eventually you go into the profit. I mean, it's Tom, an invested investment.
Bogdan, Louisa, Tom, Covington, Nickel, Daniel Blair, Ralph Fro, if you're watching or listening to this, don't go against the Nationals. Do not schedule against AMA Nationals. Don't do it. Not because I give a shit about the competition, because you're going to cut your rider availability. You're going to divide that interest. Stop it. Stay in the fall, October, November, December. Stay there. Stay in your lane.
That part I have no idea about, and I'm not privy to that information. All I am is what I see, and what I see again is a group that's doing it for all the right reasons. And then the business side, I believe they have a plan to make that work out. But they're definitely not trying to profit year one. I think it's a heavy investment in the beginning to create a good product that has sustainability. That's the ultimate goal, and ultimately it's working. These first two have been really good from what I've heard. All the riders, the teams, everyone said, yes, there's still little things to tweak, but these are the two best that they've ever done.
Well, listen, there's little things to tweak with Feld and MX Sports too. You know what I mean?
Oh, so, ask the riders. There's little things to tweak with their suspension. When they go 1-1, there's still a problem. You know.
By the way, I didn't shout the fraud at the beginning of the show, but thank you to Kellen Brower. He's not with us today. Well, he's going to build this thing. He's going to do something. Oh,
that's
Daniel.
right. I guess that's right. He does do all the work after.
So thanks to the fraud for his help with this Blair Matthes, Troy Lee Designs Race Tech show. Daniel, a couple things before we go. Vancouver City Stadium. I love it. Great city.
Dude,
what'd you think?
A+ city, man. I've never been there before, and that is one of the raddest cities, like not only just the way it looks, but like, I mean, the restaurant. I mean, I had a great experience. So I mean, it's hard for me to have a negative, but I do think it's one of the raddest looking cities I've ever been in. That stadium is sick too. And so for me, this was a great experience. Obviously, Argentina was an experience. I'll say that. I've never been there either. Obviously, it's South America. It's a completely different thing, but I mean, we went from a very difficult environment to have a race to one of the most lush places I've ever been. That stadium is phenomenal, and so is the city. And A+, top to bottom on Vancouver. So shout out to you in Canada and everybody involved in the creation of Vancouver.
Did you have some poutine?
I actually did. We did a Thursday night show called Kickstart. It's like the pre-show going into the weekend, and we had it at this cool brewery, and it was one of our props, and I was eating the prop during the show. So it was gravy fries.
Zool's, Seat Concepts, Firepower, Maxxis, ASV Levers, Decal Works, Alpine Stars, Stomp Grip, and Daniel, talk about ASV and Decal Works.
Yeah, from beginners to seasoned vets, race teams, project builds, and magazine tests, Decal Works' mission is to cater to those who love to ride, upholding the true definition of quality, service, and knowledge. Visit decalmx.com and use the promo code PulpMX25 to get 20% off your custom graphics. And ASV was awarded as the #1 lever choice in the 2025 Vital MX audience survey for the 11th time. Steve, that's dominating. ASV has new lever applications for 2026, including the all-new Yamaha YZ450F with a new hydraulic clutch lever. Check out the latest ASV products, including the new EMIG F4 Pro Pack, and use code PulpMX in all caps for 20% off at asvinventions.com. And also you can go to Hook It, MX sponsor, if you're a racer. And they have an incredible contingency program. So check those things out, or go to their website, and you can apply there too.
Okay. Anything else on Paris or Vancouver before we move on to some latest news? And I got a Race Tech rant about my football team.
No, other than it's a really cool time of the year. Like I said, you're going to the WSX Open, and then I'll be at WSX. I think you're probably going there as well. And then there's Sweden and South Africa. I mean, we are pretty blessed right now as a fan base and as a sport that we're getting this now, because I know 31 feels long, and it is long, but at the end of the day, for the fans who watch, it's not really that long. Like, I want it every weekend. I hate one weekend off, really. So we're getting a really, really cool year if you look at 2025 as a whole, man. Like, if you're a fan, it's good right now. It's really good.
Dude, this is my mantra for World Supercross, and all these carrot in the ears idiots that DM me and say you didn't talk about World Supercross in the Pulp Show, or you didn't do this, or you don't care because you're Feld and MX Sports guy. Like, I've talked to Kurt Nickel. I've interviewed Adam Bailey when he owned it. Riders and teams are making money from this thing. if you are a fan, this is fantastic to watch. You get Eli Tomac, Ken Roczen in Vancouver for, what is it, $6 an individual show or something? It's $30 for the year. This is great. And teams and riders are making money. I love it. It's fantastic. And more of it. Just don't go against the Nationals, and please make the math make sense for me. And then Paris. Paris is awesome. It's an institution, right? So
and a thank you to the stars of the sport, because look at the 30 club, man. Australia is going to have Anderson, Roczen, Webb, and Tomac. Like, it's not a guarantee these guys go into their 30s like this, but with the racing that's available and that their talent is still worth being paid, like, shout out to them too for making this year awesome by having this much talent still around.
Yeah.
Like, the sport's great right now. It really is awesome right now.
Henry Miller, Simonson, McElrath, I kind of know what these guys are making. They're crushing it. That's awesome.
It's awesome.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, Zool's Bag, zoolsbagco.com. Use code PULP25 to code to save. Zach Osborne, speaking of Zacho, he's using Zool's Bag, Trey Kennard, but then also the Triumph guys in Phoenix Racing using zoolsbagco.com. We've got you covered with backpacks, roller travel bags, gear bags, and more. And Seat Concepts as well. Ride the world with them. Moto, Dual Sport, Off-Road, Phoenix Racing, Factory Beta, using Seat Concepts, Pulp25 to code to save with those guys as well. From the Race 2.0 to the Comfort Series, proprietary foam and handcrafted seat shapes are made in the USA, and it puts you and your ass in a better place, no matter the element. Okay, a couple of injury news. This was on social the other day for people who didn't see it. Jordan Smith, that crash at Vegas SMX, just did insane, gnarly crash. Looked like DB back in the day. And because didn't you have a crash, Daniel, that was pretty quote-unquote famous? Like made a show, or were you wearing a helmet cam, or was someone behind you with the helmet cam and it was you flipping?
I was crash of the week in arena cross when I was like 17 or 18 years old. I got squirrely off the face of the catapult and was going to land on the side, and then it was like a drop-off cliff into the whoops, and so I ended up letting the bike go and just kind of jumped off.
Yeah.
And it was like speed-centered crash of the week or something like that. I don't even know how you remembered that.
No, I wouldn't have saw that. My favorite arena cross crash was Bobby Canary sailing over the berm under the stands past the tractor, then getting on the bike and jumping back
over the berm.
Back over the berm. Fantastic. Bobby Canary.
I believe that's the same night, I think, that Jacob Hayes landed on Kyle Regal, and then Regal's bike, or maybe Hayes, went flying over the berm and took Gerke out, who was in the lead. Matt Gerke's coming around the first one in the lead, and the bike just comes flying over the berm and takes the leader out.
I had that on my pulp show, and I kept saying, get your tickets for arena cross. Look at what happens.
Same night.
Anyways, Jordan Smith's shoulder injury didn't get better, and he went under the knife to get it fixed, and I think he's going to miss Anaheim and some races early on in the year. It's going to be a longer recovery for Jordan Smith on the 450 Triumph.
Does that doesn't change anything then? That doesn't make him go east with 6 west rounds? You don't?
I don't think so.
Okay, no. I just throw it out there just in case.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. And also, too, I heard TLD rider Justin Barsha broke his collarbone riding Ducati at MTF. So collarbones usually, not too bad. I mean, he'll be at Anaheim, but bummer deal for Bam Bam on the Ducati, hurting the old collarbone. So.
Yeah, right after getting his feelings hurt by Carson Brown a couple weeks ago too.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw that, but
that's a standard thing.
Everybody does.
Everybody gets their feelings hurt from Carson Brown.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have Carson or Pastrana calling in a pulp show coming up here to promote the next one.
Oh yeah, and everyone knows because Kenny went out and posted it, and so did Travis and Carson. I did as well, but I went up to Pastrana's for the very first time. I've never been there before, and we did an Eras episode with Carson versus Ken Roczen, and Travis maybe makes an appearance. I'll just throw it out there. He maybe makes an appearance, and honestly, it was probably one of the raddest days I've ever had around a dirt bike. And when they come on, it's hot, that it's in the oven about to come out. But it's going to be 2 really, really rad episodes of Eras.
Awesome. So stay tuned for that. DB's got that going on. It's always does a good job with that. I've watched 3 or 4 of them. I didn't watch the AP one. I think I missed I didn't watch the Barsha one either, but I watched the other ones. The AC I saw. Villapoto I saw. Roczen.
And probably Kenny the first time, because that was the
first one. Yeah.
Yep. So they're good.
Okay, so we got everything covered. Race Tech rant here before we wrap up. My Raiders played your Cowboys here in Vegas last night. You guys walked to a win. That's not the rant at all because, yeah, you know, first of all, everyone can score on your defense. Everyone can, but the Vegas Raiders. So that's a bit of a joke. But I was thinking, man, I flew back from Paris yesterday, and I was watching the game on the phone. And, like, I'm being dead serious here, by the way. I'm being dead serious. There needs to be, I don't know if I can swear on here, there needs to be a fucking exorcism or something for the Raiders. Like, honestly, Daniel, Geno Smith, he was okay last year, and before that, he was really good, okay? And he was okay last year. The Raiders sign him, reunite him with the coach, who, by the way, Pete Carroll never had a losing record as an NFL coach. I think, or maybe one, but mostly has been 500 or better for all goddamn 15 years of his career, okay? Won a Super Bowl. Geno Smith, he was really good, then okay. They come to Vegas, they suck. They suck. Okay. Devontae Adams, he was really good on the Packers. He comes to Vegas, and he sucks. Gets
now he's
picked
good
up by
again.
the Rams.
He's good again.
Now he's good again, okay? Jimmy G, pretty decent year before he comes to the Raiders. He comes to the Raiders, he sucks, okay? Gardner Minshew, the year before they brought him in, he was a league average quarterback. Like, I was like, okay, Minshew, whatever. He's got the mustache. He's going to be decent. He's going to be a game manager. Nope. He sucks as a Raider, okay? Something is going on with the Raiders. 3 different coaches, 3 different general managers now. We had Spytek. Now we got Spytek and Carroll. Then we had the guy from New England and McDaniels. Then before that we had I forget the guy's name. And then we had Gruden, who got fired for emails. And then we had the Bisaccia. It doesn't matter who coaches or who general managers or who fucking plays for the Raiders, Daniel. It doesn't matter what city they're in, Daniel. They suck. We got Tom Brady. Tom Brady picked Geno Smith. And he sucks. And now Brady sucks. Now Brady doesn't know who's good anymore. We put the stink on the greatest NFL player ever. He can't pick a quarterback now because he's stuck in the abyss of suckiness. So I can't believe it. Like, the turnover's going on. We're bringing in dudes who should be good, and they're not. It needs an exorcism. We need chicken blood. We need a priest. We need to sacrifice a cat or a chick. I don't know, Daniel. I don't know, man, because these people are good before they come to the Raiders, or at least decent before they come to the Raiders. And they put on the silver and black, Daniel, and it goes to shit. Everything goes to shit. It's all shittiness. Derek Carr had about Derek Carr played for us for 8 years, 6 years. I don't know. He had 3 good seasons. He should be in the Hall of Fame for those 3 good seasons because he overcame it. That's my Race Tech Rant TED Talk. I'm just like, what is going on? We're changing coaches. We're changing general managers. We got Tom Brady. We're changing quarterbacks. We're changing the players. Nothing matters. Nothing matters.
What hasn't changed?
Mark Davis.
The owner. There you go.
But even Mark Davis, Daniel, in interviews, Mark Davis is like, I don't know, man. Here, Tom. He said it. He's been like, dude, I guess I don't know what I'm doing.
Sell the team, dude. Sell the team.
It doesn't know, Daniel. It's not him. He knows what he doesn't know now. He didn't know that 3 years ago. He didn't know what he doesn't know. But
so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where his brain is either. It's just
no. This year he surrendered to Tom, and hired Spytek, who's Tom's buddy from Tampa Bay. They hired Pete Carroll, who's never had a losing season, or maybe one. And they did the right things. And Tom said, you know what? Gino's okay. Gino can get it done.
They gave Gino a really good running back, too. That rookie is good.
Daniel,
Imagine being a college player and you get the the fifth pick in the draft.
And Brock Bowers, an incredible year last year.
Yeah.
But nope, this year missed 6 games. Sorry, man. It's just, I was just thinking like, dude, it's not like, look, your team, you've got an owner that is out to lunch. He's out to lunch and he employs his kid who is also out for lunch.
Yep.
So you can point to your team and be like, there is the reason. And I had that owner in the 80s for my hockey team. I had the owner that was out to lunch, and no matter what happened, the owner was making the choices, and we were screwed until he died. Okay? So your team has a reason. It's Jerry Jones. But my team, we've changed everything. And the owner isn't involved like Jerry Jones. And everybody gets covered with the stink of the Raiders.
Maybe it's you.
But okay, Daniel, do I make sense to you though? Like, do you understand?
Yeah.
Like,
it's
like,
the
I'm
biggest I don't know man of all time, because you can't point to the fix. There's no fix.
Tom Brady looks like an idiot, and he's Tom Brady. He looks like an idiot. He picked the general manager. He picked the quarterback.
I think he also made a bad crypto decision at one point too. So this is too big.
I guess. Good point.
And his thing with his wife. So this is 3 strikes for Tom. He's had a rough streak.
If Tom Brady can save us, who the hell can?
I think you're screwed, man. We're just, hey, at least you know it. See, I always get little glimpses of hope. That's the worst part for me, is they do things that give me hope. You just know they're bad no matter what. Nothing works. At least
JT
Cowboys will win you 10 games here and there and like just tease you.
JT screenshot, and I hate him for this, but he screenshotted in another group text I'm in, me saying that Minshew and Gino are like way better than like the garbage we've had. But like Devontae Adams, he's just great again. And like he was great before the Raiders. And then he sucked. Randy Moss was the best receiver in the league. And the Raiders traded for him, and he was garbage. And then they let him go. He went to New England, and he was the best goddamn receiver. Again. Like, dude, I'm telling you. I probably could grab further examples. But it's the whole we got we're in a different city. It doesn't matter. They're
cursed, dude. They're cursed.
The stink is there. And I'm sorry this is a motocross pod. And I'm sorry if you don't like football.
No one's listening. No one's heard any of this. People shut off a long time ago.
Okay. All right.
But I heard you, and I feel you, man. Listen, I have my pains phenomenal. Too, but yours maybe are worse because there's not really any hope. I mean, when your hope is Gardner Minshew and Geno Smith, you're pretty hopeless.
But Daniel, all I want is like, just be average. Because that's what you are. You're just an average. Just be average, please. Nope. They're terrible. Gino has the most interceptions in the league, and he throws garbage balls. And he didn't used to do that.
Hire Jason Garrett as your coach, dude, and you'll be 500 for about 10 years straight if you want average.
Pete Carroll, he's going to the Hall of Fame. Incredible college career, incredible NFL career. The stink is on him, and he can't get it off. Pete is affected. The stink is on him, and he's done. And Tom Brady's going to have the stink on him, and it doesn't. You just get Max Crosby does not have the stink on him. He's a great player. He's somehow risen above the stink. Derek Carr rose above the stink for about half of the time here, and everyone else has the stink on them, and you can't get out of it. It's the tar pits. It's the Brea tar pits of professional football.
And you got the stink on you.
Yeah. Fuck, dude. That's my race tech rant.
Why are you a Raider fan? Why?
When they won the Super... I was a kid.
I have a legitimate story. Why are you a Raider fan?
What's your story?
Well, actually, it might end up being a lot like yours. My mom's cousin's boyfriend came over for Thanksgiving one year when I was a little kid, and we had to watch the Cowboys game. He was from Arkansas. And so we watched the Cowboys game, and then for Christmas, he bought me a Cowboys jacket, and I went to school wearing it, and all my friends made fun of me, and I'm stubborn. So I just put my heels in, and I've never been able to stop from that.
So when the Raiders won the Super Bowl in '84, I was, I don't know, 8 years old or whatever, and I was like, that's a cool color. Cool, they won the Super Bowl. I'm a Raider fan. And then, you read about the history, and then that's it. So, but that's it.
That's when it got me. I was 8 years old. It was third grade. That's when it got me too. So,
but I just think it's amazing. This is actually like a science experiment of like guys who were good come to the Raiders, they stink, and then they're good again when they escape. It's phenomenal. Yeah.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's a psyop. I mean, there's no. That's a value. A realistic example, or not realistic example. It's there's a realistic chance that that's what it is because nothing else. It's nothing else. So. And
then when you look at the Raiders draft picks over these different general managers for 20 years, they are horrific. There was a social media graphic going around of guys in the league and who they picked, and like these are 3 different people making the picks for the last 15 years.
They've made a couple good ones lately, though. They got good guys. But they had that guy Farrell, the defensive end, that year. Like, that guy was a third rounder. They picked him for.
Yeah, and then Tyree Wilson now. They picked him 7th overall. He's a backup defensive end. Like, he's just Bowers and Gianti look good. But
they're good, but they're going to be out of there before you know it and be superstars. So whoever trades for them, they're like, it's like good luck Chuck.
I'm not even mad you guys won. Like, whatever. Like, you're a better team. But, like, again, like, hey, you can score on the Cowboys. Everyone scores on the Cowboys. Nope.
Not the Raiders.
Not the Raiders. We can't score on the Cowboys. Anyway, so, good times. Paris, Vancouver, Australia now coming up this weekend. I don't know when our next show is because I'm gone and you're gone, and we'll figure it out. But
it's about to be zombie time for me. I go Australia, Sweden, South America, 3 in a row. So zombie time.
And maybe me and the fraud will just do one, and we'll just talk about you. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. Listen,
I can't wait.
Thank you to Troy Lee Designs. Thank you to Race Tech, Zool, Seat Concepts, Firepower, Maxxis, ASV Levers, Decal Works, Stomp Grip, A-Stars. Thank you, Daniel Blair. Thanks for watching and listening, everybody. Appreciate it. Sorry about the football talk, but we had to get it done. So until next time, see ya.
Later.